Hello and welcome back to Swanage Model Railway. In this episode I am installing yet another smoke unit onto the layout where the T9 is currently sitting in platform 1. For a little extra effect, as on the shows, we started using that platform with steam locomotives this time around. Just adds a bit more variety to the layout and more options to steam up a steam locomotive just sitting still. I also install a brand new boardwalk and some extra cable trunking along the next panel along. Most of this video is going to be time-lapsed because this is quite a few hours worth of work that I'm putting into this video. So hopefully you find something you enjoy. At the end of the video I'm going to be doing something new, and I'll be doing a little Q&A session at the end of each of my videos from now on. So if you've got anything on the railway at all you want to know about, or you see something in the video that you want to have more information on, just drop a comment on any of my videos and I will pick up on them in the next video that comes out. So at the end of this video I have a couple comments, or 3 comments that I've been given, and I will go into the answers slightly more. I will hand over to myself 3 weeks ago, maybe 4, when I started the work on this. I took a little bit of a break from the layout, as I usually do after a show. So there's not much work, but it took me some time to complete. Right, so let's get started on the first part of this project, and that is a new effect that I want to get put in. Just like we have here in the platform, you would have seen it when I ballasted this section. I have acquired a brand new smoke generator as well. I only got it recently, but it's the same as the other 3 on the layout. This, if you haven't guessed by the train being in platform 1, is going to be going up here where this steam locomotive I got is. Most likely right near the end of the panel, so I've not ballasted that little bit yet. Start by working out where it's going to go and drill the hole and install it. Then go and wire it all up. Okay, so this is the area I am intending to install it. Probably go for around here, right at the end. So if we just push these out of the way a minute and lift the tornado off. I've got a little section here which I have not ballasted yet. If I'm right, those sleepers are loose, so I can get enough clearance there to install it. Okay, so here we are under the layout again. So right next to that signal, which is the black bit, you can see the new smoke unit, which is white, quite close to a point. I got that right at the end of my panel, so my measurements were correct on what set of sleepers to put that between. So I've got the smoke unit coming out into a terminal block, which means I can remove it if I need to. And then we follow the yellow, and on this layout I use yellow to colour code for my AC line. So we can follow that back. See, one goes off up to this relay unit, which is running 2 things on my AC line. So we can come down to here, we can see another smoke unit, which is the one in platform 2. So So you can follow that one's yellow back to this terminal block, which has the other yellow line going to that smoke unit. My wiring might look like a bit of a mess, but that's what happens when things get changed around so many times. Okay, so now that I've got the layout back together and powered up, I've also programmed onto my controller the new button. So let's power up that smoke unit for the first time. And we'll also do a test of the other one, considering they're both on the same relay unit, to make sure the power is still continuous for both. Okay, so in this section of the layout, now that I've done that smoke unit on panel 2, I need to cut some of these pieces to fit around the points so I can build this crossing. These bits are already stuck down. This bit and this bit I'll just stick straight down at the beginning anyway, because they don't need editing. Whereas this bit, I need to cut it to make room for this rail to come past it. This one I have to make sure this blade of the point comes through it, which will split it into 2 bits. And also this one needs to make room for this track coming through and the point frog. So I just have to open that up a bit. And this one I have to make room for the guide rail and the frog of the point. So I'll get started on that, and that'll be another little piece added to the layout. Okay, so that's all the work that will be in this video. It may take a little while for the next one to come out, as I'm taking a bit of a slower pace, trying not to burn myself out again. So yeah, it could be a few weeks or even a month until my next video. Depends on when I've got enough stuff done to do an upload like this one. So with that all done out the way, I suppose it's time I move on to some of these questions that I've been asked, to give a better answer than some of my comments can. So one question I've been asked is what I put on top of my trestles when I get to the shows. This has been commented on my setup video. So that one is an interesting one. As I'm not using this one, I'll use it as a example. So basically it's a standard piece of wood. These are basically adjustable feet with a little rubber bit on the end. They used to be on the old legs that the layout had, but when I moved to trestles and found that the trestles were much more stable, I made these bits to go on top. Now, as not all my panels have the same height to the baseboard, we've got these. So depending on how uneven the layout is and going to different shows, this means that I can adjust the height that each board is sitting at, which means we can make it level, so when we have rolling stock sitting in the platform without a locomotive attached, the coaches will not roll away, because I'll be using these to counteract my level. As for the little black bits that I've got on the underside, these are 3D printed. They lock these onto the stands. So if I just pull one out, I'll grab the camera. So we've got one shaped like that. That is designed just to sit in the channel, and it's screwed and glued onto the bottom. And then at the other end, it's designed slightly different, so it's got a little square peg. So when we take our trestles, it literally, so usually it'll be sitting there, peg leading towards the front, but because of where the layout is, I'll move it slightly forward one to this also. That square peg locks into the hole. The other end just holds it sideways, so if I move the peg out, it just slides along with the other one. So when that peg is engaged in the square hole, holds it firm. These bits sit underneath the panels as demonstrated there. So if needed, you can adjust the height of the panel just like that. But I usually do that when that shower is not normally in the loft. So with that question now answered, these are the bits you was asking about. So it's basically a better way of securing or keeping the panels in place. And if you're wondering whether the panels themselves move when they're sitting on these, the weight of the panel holds them quite firm on that bit of rubber. I've used this method for 2 shows so far. Nope, 3 shows, miscounted. And it's working pretty well so far. So Considering I rush made these in, I don't know, a couple of hours. Maybe probably not even that. Right, so another question that I was asked on my control unit video. I've got two from this same video, so I'll knock both of them out. First one is building my own layout. How do I connect the TP-Link to the internet? Easy answer for that, I have not. So if I get a look at my tablet, connected to my Z21 right now, connected with no internet, because whilst I'm connected for the controller, I am not surfing the web. So I do not need to link it up that way. Plus, when it shows, it is going to be impossible to link it to the internet anyway. And I don't bother at home because I have a phone and other ways of linking to the internet when I'm using my railway. So that is that. The last question I was asked is, or last comment I got was, great idea for the control case, but do the power units overheat being in confined space? Well, I can tell you now, that unit has been running closed for 2 hours. It's still running. And yet, it's not very hot in here. Only minimal heat. But then, I'm not running much. So, I've got my 12 volt unit, which has 10 amps ability. Or it's 12 volt, 10 amps. So, it's overpowered for what I use it for anyway. So, that's literally just running the platform lights. Not really anything else, as I have it connected up at the moment, because the other systems are on the other panels. AC unit, that's literally only running the smoke units. That's all that powers. And my digital gear, well, if you've watched my videos, you know that runs everything. But yeah, that's been running for ages with no heat, minimal heat in the case. There's no vents cut in the case at all. So yeah, I've had no issues with it. I don't always have it open. Whenever I'm at a show, yeah, I always open it up, keep it open, exposed. It's going to be running a whole day with constant use. So I keep it open. It's well ventilated. Nothing's tree sealed. The AC unit is in a plaster card box that I made, which is more just to protect from it being knocked or anything. But yeah, no issues with that. So that's it for all my questions. If anyone has anything they want to know, I know I've said it multiple times already, just drop a comment. Okay, so one thing I'm just going to mention before I close out this video. One of the comments I've recently got mentioned someone finding a Instagram or Twitter account that they think is, well, me. That is not true. This layout does not have an Instagram or Twitter account because I generally don't use those platforms. The only platforms this layout is on is right here on YouTube and our Facebook page, which I am trying to keep up with. I quite often forget to update the Facebook page, so apologies for that. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to follow us on the Facebook page and subscribe if you want. I shall see you in the next video.